Hello, I'm Christopher from Learnry. In this video, we are going to be taking a look at arithmetic operators in the Python programming language. By the end of this video, you will know everything that has to do with the most used arithmetic operators in the Python programming language. Now, let's start off by taking a look at what arithmetic operators are. So, arithmetic operators are special symbols used to perform common mathematical operations on numeric values. It is also important to note that arithmetic operators can only be used with numeric values. So now let's take a look at some common arithmetic operators in the Python programming language. So let's start off with the addition operator. Now the addition operator adds values on either side of the operator and returns the answer of the addition. Again, this operator is represented by the plus sign or character. So the subtraction operator subtracts the right-hand operand from the left-hand operand and returns the answer of the subtraction. Again, this operator is represented by the minus sign or character. Next, we have the multiplication operator. So the multiplication operator multiplies values on either side of the operator and returns the answer of the multiplication. Again, this operator is also represented by the asterisk sign or character. So the next operator we are going to take a look at is the division operator. The division operator, on the other hand, divides the left-hand operand by the right-hand operand and returns the answer of the division. This operator is represented by the single / sign or character. We also have the modulus operator. Now, the modulus operator divides the left-hand operand by the right-hand operand and returns the remainder of the division. So the modulus operator is represented by the percentage sign or character. Then we also have the exponent operator. So the exponent operator performs exponential or power calculations on operands and returns the answer of the calculation. So this operator is also represented by the double asterisk signs or characters. Then finally we have the floor division operator. Now the floor division operator is also known as the integer division operator, and this operator returns the quotient or the answer to a division in which the digits after the decimal point are removed. So this operator is represented by the double / signs or characters. So now let's take a look at operator precedence. Now operator precedence determines which operators need to be evaluated first in the midst of many operators. So to avoid ambiguity and confusion in values, operator precedence is very necessary. Just like in normal mathematics, multiplication has a higher precedence than addition. So for example, in 3 plus 4 times 5, the answer is 23 because 4 times 5 is equal to 20 and 20 plus 3 is equal to 23. So to change the order of precedence, we can use a parenthesis. So that now if we have 4 plus 3 inside parentheses multiplied by 5, the answer becomes 35 because the interpreter is going to evaluate whatever is in the parentheses first, followed by what is outside the parentheses. So when we add 4 to 3, we get 7, and then we'll multiply the 7 by the 5 which is outside the parentheses, we are going to get 35. So now let's take a look at operator precedence order. Now, whenever we have a mathematical expression in Python, the first thing that is going to be worked by the Python interpreter is the brackets. So the Python interpreter will normally go inside the brackets, if any, and it will solve any mathematical problems that are inside the brackets first. So for any mathematical expressions, brackets are going to be worked first. Then the second operator that is worked after brackets is the division operator. So after the division operator, the multiplication operator is worked third. Then after the multiplication operator, we now have the addition operator which is worked fourth. Then the last operator which is going to be worked is the subtraction operator. So the precedence is this: brackets are worked first, the division operator is worked second, multiplication operator is worked third, addition operator is worked fourth, subtraction operator is worked fifth. So that is the order in which the Python interpreter works these arithmetic operators. Okay, so as always, I have my Visual Studio Code Editor open on the right hand side of my computer screen, and on the left hand side I have my command prompt interface. Again, I have also gone ahead and created a Python file ahead of time with the name of operators, and inside the file I have typed out a few examples so that you don't have to sit and watch me type all of that. So the first thing we are going to do is to go ahead and run our Python file to see what the file currently does. So let's go to our command prompt interface, and we're going to type Python followed by the name of the file, which is operators.py. We hit enter, and now we can see that currently the file does nothing. So let's go ahead and we are going to uncomment lines 1 and 2. So in lines 1 and 2, we have basically declared two variables. The first variable is variable x, which has the value of 5 stored inside it. Then in line 2, we have the variable y declared, which has the value of 14 stored inside it. So we are going to start off with the addition operator. So we said that the addition operator will normally take two or more values and then add those two values and return the answer. So let's go ahead and we are going to uncomment line 5, and we are going to save our file, go to our command prompt interface, and we are going to run our file again. And you see we get 19. That is because the value of variable x is 5, the value of variable y is 14. So when we add 5 to 14, the answer is truly going to be 19. Now let's go ahead and we're also going to uncomment line 6, and we save our file once again, go to our command prompt, run the file again, and you see that we get 19 because if we have 5 plus 14, it gives us 19. And if we also have 14 plus 5, it is also going to give us the same 19. That is because addition is commutative, so it doesn't matter which value comes first. So that is what the addition operator does. So it takes two or more values, add the two values, and return the answer of the addition. So now we are going to comment line 5 and 6. We are going to save our file. And the next operator we are going to take a look at is the subtraction operator. So what the subtraction operator does is it will normally subtract the right hand operand from the left hand operand. So let's go ahead and we are going to uncomment line 9, and we are going to save our file, go to our command prompt interface, and run our Python file. Now you see the answer we got is -9, and that is because all the time when we use the subtraction operator, the right hand operand is always subtracted from the left hand operand. So in line 9, we are basically going to subtract the value stored inside variable y from the value stored inside variable x. Now inside variable y we have 14, which we are going to subtract from 5. And so if we take away 14 from 5, that is going to give us an answer of -9. So let's go ahead and uncomment line 10, save our file, and we are going to run the file again, which gives us -9 for running line 9 and then +9 for running line 10. So in line 9, we got -9. Now that we've run line 10, we are getting +9 because now instead of subtracting 14 from 5, we are now rather subtracting 5 from 14, which gave us the +9. So that is what the subtraction operator does. It basically takes the right hand operand and subtracts it from the left hand operand and then returns the answer of the subtraction. Now let's comment out line 9 and 10, save our file, and then we are going to talk about the multiplication operator. So the multiplication operator basically takes two or more operands and multiplies them and then returns the answer of the multiplication. So let's go ahead and we are going to uncomment line 13 and 14, save our Python file, go to the command prompt interface. We are going to run the Python file again, and you see we got 70 and 70. So in line 13, we basically told the Python interpreter to multiply the value of variable x by the value of variable y. That means we are going to multiply 5 by 14. Now when we multiply 5 by 14, we are going to get 70. Then in line 14, we are basically multiplying the value of variable y by the value of variable x. So we are multiplying 14 by 5. Now in math, we all know that multiplication is commutative. So that is how come we got 70 for both cases. So that is what the multiplication operator does. It takes two or more operands, multiplies them, and returns the answer of the multiplication. So let's comment out lines 13 and 14. So the next operator we are going to take a look at is the division operator. But before we do that, let's clear our command prompt interface with the command cls. So now let's go ahead and we are going to uncomment lines 17 and 18. We are going to save our file, go to the command prompt interface, and we are going to run our Python file once more. And you see that for line 17, where we are dividing the value of variable x by the value of variable y, we got 0.35 and a whole bunch of numbers. And so that is because we are dividing 5 by 14. But when we go to line 18, we are now dividing 14 by 5. So that is how we got a 2.8. So this is what the division operator does. It takes two or more operands, divides them, and returns the answer. So normally how that works is it will pick the left hand operand and divide it by the right hand operand. So for each case, for example, in line 17, we were dividing the value stored inside variable x by the value stored inside variable y. Then in line 18, we are dividing the value stored inside variable y by the value stored inside variable x. So this is what the division operator does. It simply takes two or more operands, divides them up, and returns the answer of the division. So let's comment out lines 17 and 18, save our Python file. Then we are going to scroll down a bit, and the next operator we are going to take a look at is the modulus operator. So let's uncomment lines 21 and 22, save our Python file, and let me quickly explain what this does before I run the file. So the modulus operator will normally carry out a division, but instead of returning the answer of the division, it rather returns the remainder. So let's go to our command prompt interface. We are going to run our Python file, and you see that for line 21, where we are dividing the value stored inside variable x by the value stored inside variable y, we got 5. Now let's scroll up a bit to see the variables. So variable x has a value of 5 and variable y has a value of 14. So when we divide 5 by 14, the remainder of the division is 5. But now when we divide 14, which is the value stored inside variable y, by 5, which is the value stored inside variable x, the remainder of the division is going to be 4, because if we divide 14 by 5, we are going to get 2 remainder 4. So the remainder is what the modulus operator will always return. So that is what the modulus operator does. So now let's comment out lines 21 and 22, and we're going to save our Python file. And the next operator we are going to take a look at is the exponent operator. So the exponent operator is used to work exponential calculations. Now let's go ahead and we are going to uncomment lines 25 and 26. We are going to save our Python file. So let's go to our command prompt interface and we are going to run our Python file. So in line 25, what we are basically doing is we are picking the value stored in variable x and we are raising it to the power the value stored in variable y. Now in variable x, the value stored in there is 5, and then in variable y, the value stored is 14. So line 25 is simply going to print out 5 exponent 14, and that gave us this long number here. Then in line 26, we are rather doing 14 exponent 5, and that also gave us this 537,824. So this is what the exponent operator does. We use it to perform exponential calculations. So let's comment out line 25 and 26, and finally we are going to talk about the floor division operator. So what the floor division operator does is it takes two or more operands, performs a division on the operands, and return the answer of the division. But when the answer is a decimal number, the floor division operator is simply going to throw away the decimal part of the answer and only return the whole number part. So let's go ahead and we are going to uncomment lines 29 and 30, and let's save our Python file, go to the command prompt interface, and we are going to run the Python file. So we see that in the command prompt interface we got 0 and then 2. So for us to better understand how the floor division operator works, I am going to uncomment lines 17 and 18 so that we can see the actual division that is going on. Let's go ahead and save our file first. Then we can now come and run it. So when we divide 5 by 14, we get 0.3571 and all these numbers. But when we divide 14 by 5, we get 2.8. Now, what the floor division does is it will perform the division, but everything after the decimal point is going to be thrown away. And so that is how come the first answer from our floor division was 0, because the 0.357 and all the other numbers were basically thrown away and only the 0 was returned. And for the second answer, we had 2.8 from the division. But what the floor division will normally do is it will throw away everything after the decimal point. So that is how come we got 2, because the 0.8 was basically thrown away and only 2 was returned. Okay, so now let's comment out lines 29 and 30, and we're also going to comment out lines 17 and 18. So now let's go over our operators again. So we said that the addition operator will normally take 2 or more operands, add the operands, and return the answer of the addition. Next, we spoke about the subtraction operator, and we said that the subtraction operator will normally subtract the right-hand operand from the left-hand operand and return the answer of the subtraction. The multiplication operator would also normally take 2 or more operands, multiply them up, and return the answer of the multiplication. Then the division operator will normally take the left-hand operand and divide it by the right-hand operand and then return the answer of the division. Now, we also said that the modulus operator performs division on 2 or more operands, but instead of returning the quotient of the division, it rather returns the remainder of the division. So the exponent operator is basically used for exponential calculations. The floor division operator is used to perform a division, and after the division has been performed, if the answer is a decimal number, the floor division operator is going to throw away all the decimal number part and only return the whole number part. So the question of the day is, what is the answer to 34 minus 12 times 5 modulus 2? You can leave your answer in the comment section below. Okay, so if you are new to this channel and found this video helpful, then click on the subscribe button and the bell notification icon below so that you will be notified when new videos are uploaded. Bye for now, and I'll see you in the next lesson.